Members of the Cabinet of the United States in the Biden administration will assume office after the inauguration of President Joe Biden on January 20, 2021, and after confirmation by the United States Senate. In addition to the 15 heads of executive departments, there will be 9 cabinet-level officials, with 3 positions being elevated to cabinet level, and the position of KR director being dropped. At the start of confirmations occurred at the slowest pace of any presidential cabinet in modern history. All permanent members of the Cabinet of the United States as heads of executive departments require the advice and consent of the United States Senate following appointment by the President before taking office. The vice presidency is exceptional in that the position requires an election to office pursuant to the United States Constitution. The President may also designate heads of other agencies and non-Senate confirmed members of the Executive Office of the President as cabinet-level members of the Cabinet. The Cabinet meets with the President in a room adjacent to the Oval Office. The following have been named as Cabinet appointees by the President of the United States. Vice President of the United States announced August 11, 2020, assumed office January 20, 2021. Secretary of State announced November 23, 2020, assumed office January 26, 2021. Secretary of the Treasury announced November 30, 2020, assumed office January 26, 2021. Secretary of Defense announced December 8, 2020, assumed office January 22, 2021. Attorney General announced January 7, 2021, assumed office March 11, 2021. Secretary of the Interior announced December 17, 2020, assumed office March 16, 2021. Secretary of Agriculture announced December 10, 2020, assumed office February 24, 2021. Secretary of Commerce announced January 7, 2021, assumed office March 3, 2021. Secretary of Labor announced January 7, 2021. Secretary of Health and Human Services announced December 7, 2020. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development announced December 10, 2020, assumed office March 10, 2021. Secretary of Transportation announced December 15, 2020, assumed office February 3, 2021. Secretary of Energy announced December 17, 2020, assumed office February 25, 2021. Secretary of Education announced December 22, 2020, assumed office March 2, 2021. Secretary of Veterans Affairs announced December 10, 2020, assumed office February 9, 2021. Secretary of Homeland Security announced November 23, 2020, assumed office February 2, 2021. Date announced, confirmed date announced, confirmed. Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency announced December 17, 2020, assumed office March 11, 2021. Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Director of National Intelligence announced November 23, 2020, assumed office January 21, 2021. United States Trade Representative announced December 10, 2020. United States Ambassador to the United Nations announced November 23, 2020, assumed office February 25, 2021. Chair of the Council of Economic Advisers announced November 30, 2020 assumed office March 12. 2021 Administrator of the Small Business Administration announced January 7. 2021 confirmed March 16. 2021 Director of the Office of Science and Technology Policy Science Advisor to THE President announced January 15. 2021 White House Chief of Staff announced November 12. 2020 assumed office January 20. 2021 Below is a list of confirmations for cabinet positions, cabinet-level positions, and other significant positions that were approved through the Senate from January 2021 onwards by a recorded roll call vote, rather than by a voice vote. Affiliation. D denotes Democratic, R denotes Republican, and ID denotes an independent that caucuses with Democrats. On November 7, 2020, it was announced that Democrat Joe Biden defeated the incumbent president, Donald Trump, in the 2020 presidential election. Joe Biden received 306 electoral votes compared to Trump's 232 electoral votes, with 270 needed to win the presidency. He assumed office on January 20, 2021, saying, Kamala Harris was elected Vice President of the United States, receiving 306 electoral votes, compared to the incumbent Vice President, Mike Pence, who received 232 electoral votes. An elected Vice President does not require Senate confirmation, and the Vice President does not serve at the President's pleasure. Having assumed office on January 20, 2021, she is the first female Vice President of the United States as well as the first African American and Asian American to hold the second highest office. The following cabinet positions are listed in order of their creation. A nomination for Secretary of State is reviewed during hearings held by the members of the Foreign Relations Committee, then presented to the full Senate for a vote. A nomination for Secretary of the Treasury is reviewed during hearings held by the members of the Finance Committee, then presented to the full Senate for a vote. A nomination for Secretary of Defense is reviewed during hearings held by T.